I'm back. Second video. I was about to head off on my run today when a package arrived. I'm guessing these are runners. Too excited to go out on my run, I've got to open them first. A pair of Asics Glide Ride. Very nice. New Balance Fuelcell Rebel. I'm looking forward to these ones. Hopefully I'll do some reviews on these in the future. In fact, I might run in these today. I'll see you after my run. Just got back from my run in the New Balance Fuelcell Rebel. I'll talk more about these after I have a shower and some lunch, but spoiler alert, I loved them. Hi, I'm back. These are my first impressions of the New Balance Fuelcell Rebel based on a 1 hour run. I will do a full review after I've logged 100 kilometers or 60 miles. It's a neutral runner, so it doesn't have any stability or control features other than this little weird flange out here. I'm not really sure what that's for, maybe to stop it rolling over a bit. It's a lightweight trainer. It's, other than my racing flats, it's the lightest runner I have. So 234 grams or 8.3 ounces. The stack height is kind of average, so 24 mil in the heel, 18 mil in the forefoot. That means a 6 mil difference or ramp between the heel and the forefoot. Comparing it to other runners I have, the Rincon. This is just 4 mil heavier, obviously a lot higher stack. I think that has a 32 mil stack, so that's 8 mil higher in there, so obviously a much more highly cushioned shoe. You have the Kinvara. This is 17 grams heavier, so that's about 0.6 ounces heavier. Very similar stack height. I think it's 2 mil less ramp, so it's one mil less in the heel, 1 mil more in the forefoot. And the other runner I have that's quite similar is the On Cloudflow. This is actually 39 grams heavier, so that's about 1.3 ounces, but still generally regarded as a lightweight trainer, something that you can train and race in. I have one other pair of New Balance runners. These are the Fresh Foam Beacons version 2. These have got 2 mil higher in the heel and 2 mil higher in the forefoot. They're a much softer cushion, but it's interesting to compare this and the Fuelcell Rebel. Back to the Fuelcell Rebel, it has a really soft upper. There's a little bit in the heel counter, but the top is floppy, but that's really the only solid part of it. It's got a sock liner, so it's hard to see because it's all black, but this material here just continues right through. There's no actual tongue to the shoe. It's just like putting on a sock. These would actually be great for triathlons in that regard. I found this shoe super comfy. It's not quite as wide in the toe box as I found the Beacon to be. It's more of a glove-like fit, but the upper's so sort of soft and stretchy that it was never really an issue. I only ran for an hour, so it'll be interesting to see how that feels on the longer runs. But I'm pretty confident that this is going to end up being a good fit. It doesn't have eyelets for the laces. Instead, it's just this thread that you loop the laces through. It also doesn't have the extra hole for a runner's knot, which is a bit frustrating. Ironically, it has extra long laces, which are really good if you had a runner's knot, but obviously not the case here. The outsole has this very hard, almost plastic-like covering is a little bit exposed here, but where your foot's going to hit the ground seems quite solid. It seems like you'll get a fair bit of wear out of that. I think this blue bit there is some sort of plate. We'll talk about that later because it's very stiff. It's been a trend lately for runners like the Rincon to have an exposed midsole, so only little bits of hard on the outsole. The Beacon's the same, just these little bits here. Even the Kinvara has mostly exposed midsole. I think that's mostly to reduce weight. Ironically, the Fuelcell Rebel has an actual covering, but it's lighter than all the others. Talking about the outsole, it is really stiff. It just does not want to bend. You compare that to the Rincon, bends a lot more. The Kinvara can bend upon itself. And if we look at the Beacon, again, whereas this really, really stiff, and that gives a massive energy return. Every foot strike, I can just really feel that spring. One disadvantage to that stiffness is that there's no real ground feel. You don't feel what you're running over. So even though the Beacon has a slightly higher cushion, it's so soft, you sink down and you can still feel the ground. You just don't feel it on the Beacons. It's not as that disconnected feel you get with the Hockers where you're so far off the ground. You're still quite close. But I ran on gravel, I ran on trails, I ran on pavement, and it all just felt the same. You don't feel the ground. I've heard that some people actually have trouble in the wet, that it's quite slippery. And I think you don't really get a sensation of grip, so you probably don't have that early signs that you're losing grip, which would make running in the wet a little bit worse. As I mentioned earlier, the stiffness gives a fantastic energy return. These shoes want to go fast. At the moment, all my runs are easy runs, but when I went on the same course as I did the week before in the Beacons, I was 26 per kilometres faster in these than I was in the Beacons. It was actually difficult to run slow. It wanted me to go faster and faster. So not really suited for an easy day. Definitely much more of a tempo, even track workout, and I could definitely see myself racing in these. In fact, if there was a half marathon tomorrow, I reckon I would choose these as my race shoes. I've clocked a lot of miles in the New Balance Beacons, and I hope to do a full review on these very soon. But I actually see these two shoes as complementing each other perfectly. These are great for easy days. They're beautifully cushioned, they run great on any surface, but I wouldn't be doing fast sessions or races in these. Whereas these ones, they just want to go fast. These are for fast sessions, these are for races, but as I found out today, no good for an easy run because they just don't want to run slow. So at the moment, they're one of my favourite shoes, even after one run. So we'll see how I feel after 100 kilometres or 60 miles. May not happen as soon as I would like because at the moment I'm doing all easy runs. So it's going to be hard to actually fit these in, but I'm really looking forward to doing some faster efforts in these. They just feel great. Thanks for watching.